Hey Strikers, welcome back to another Paladins Strike podcast. We have the devs with us, of course, Logan and Brian here, and of course my name is Evan Rayner, or Raynday, as you may know me, and we are excited to talk about just some upcoming changes and a little bit of just a community check-in for you guys as we get closer to some more updates in the future. Brian, Logan, how you guys doing today?
Great.
I feel good.
You feel good? You got that cold brew, so you're ready to go.
I'm pounding coffee and working like crazy so that we can get you guys the next update.
The gamer life, or the game creator life, I guess. And I guess the new update, let's talk about what you guys have on store. I know some discussion has been had with us and also internally about the Rune system and maybe some changes or some tweaks you guys might be going for with that system in the future.
We did a survey that came back. We intended it to originally to be a survey for only people who were no longer playing, and it went to lots of people, including people who were playing.
Okay.
Whoops. We were fast at editing the survey. It was interesting. Runes is like the most controversial system in Paladins Strike. People love it, and at the same time, people don't love it.
Right.
It's crazy. We like it, and one of the cool things that I think is good about Runes is it creates progression for your favorite characters, so you can get stronger over time, but stronger in a way where it's fair.
Right.
It doesn't take very long. How long did you take to get as a free account from 0 to 5 on a champion?
Yeah, when we released, I wiped my account to play totally free to play, and it took me maybe the first 2 or 3 weeks to get lots of runes with most characters.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And even the ones I focused on, I was maxed out pretty quickly.
Yeah, so 0 to 5 seems to be pretty easy to get to. And so what happens is you're getting stronger, and we have 3 things that happen in runes, right? You get more damage, you get more health, and then you get some kind of a special augmentation, right? So maybe it's
ult damage for Victor.
Exactly, or like faster ultimate charge, something like that. So we really like that system, and the way it's designed is so that when you're at level 0, if you play a game with all level 0s, and you play a game with all level 5s, the balance is the same. So it takes the same amount of time to defeat somebody as it would if they were all 0.
Right.
So your experience scales, you're getting stronger, but really there's kind of just a little bit of flow, and you're generally ending at the same place, other than you have that utility adjustment. So we like that. We think the system is good, and even though we understand you either love it or hate it, we're happy with it. But you get to the end of it a little too fast, and then you don't have anything to really progress with for a particular champion. We've been forward. In soft launch, we intentionally capped this system at level 5.
Right.
But it was designed for 20 levels.
Right.
What we've done is we've talked with people in the community, and we've paid attention, and we've gotten pretty clear feedback that runes are good for most people.
For most people.
But we don't want this to be a pay-to-win game.
Gotcha.
And we agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very competitive at its nature.
Yeah.
You know.
That's right. So here's what we're thinking. For runes, we want to take that level cap away because, again, the system was designed to help you get to level 5 fast and feel really good, but have many more levels to come. And I know the first thing people are going to be concerned about is, okay, well, I'm getting 30% stronger right now when I hit level 5.
Right.
Which, if you run the numbers on it, roughly that means that you'll take 1 extra primary weapon attack before you can be defeated.
Down, sure.
Yeah. So we want to raise it to 20.
Okay.
But what we want to do to preserve that pay-to-win concern and make sure that people don't feel like we're, an unfair game, which is important to us, is we're going to make sure that those next 15 levels, the benefit that you get from those is the same benefit that you get from those first 5 levels.
Gotcha.
So basically, you'll get 30% stronger very fast in your first 5 levels.
Right.
And then you'll have additional strength that you can earn over 15 levels, but the pace at which you'll advance will be a lot slower.
Gotcha.
How we've seen this work out in other systems is usually you will be match made with people that are around the same strength as you. Obviously, this runes will make you better, but the ultimate deciding factor of whether or not you win a match will still be, can you hit your shots, and how good are you at playing your particular champion.
And it's and Logan, I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, but it seems like you're on par with that decision as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited for the ability to scale this up. envisioned the system as scaling to 20, and like Brian said, we capped it at 5 at soft launch to make sure that the soft launch people didn't get too far ahead from everyone. But now that we've gotten our data and we've done the testing and we've gotten feedback, we're going to be really able to take this in a good direction.
And we're sensitive, by the way, to the community and what they think, so we'll pay attention to the system. Yeah, it seems like that. We'll look at the data. We'll make sure that, you know, you're not getting games where somebody is max rune level against somebody who has no runes.
Yeah.
Right? We're
doesn't know what a rune is.
To that stuff.
Right.
Exactly. And we're going to make it better. The other thing that's changing that I just want to prime people for early is the way you get cores, which is what you use to upgrade your runes, is also going to be a little different. And we'll get into this a little bit more later in the talk. But we are basically changing the daily rune chest system.
Right.
You'll still be able to get runes every day, but maybe some of the more valuable rune chests will be in a different place. So if you're playing now, I strongly encourage you to
do what you can do now.
Get all the rune chests you can.
Get your money.
But we are going to be rebalancing that system because, again, we want to make sure that runes, our goal for runes is it gives you progression for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
We don't want people to play for a month and then be maxed out on all their characters, right? That's not fun. So we want people to have something to work towards over the long haul.
And I think progression, you know, personally speaking, because I'm platinum now. I had a horrible run of 8 games, and so I'm at the bottom of platinum because I just had a bad night. But it's a game that is progression. You know, Paladins Strike is very much okay. Today I'm playing, tomorrow I'm playing. I'm getting better. I'm getting more runes. I am just invested into this game, and it's a long haul, I think. And so, you know, giving people encouragement to do that, spreading out the rune values is almost really in synergy with the goal of the game already. How the game operates, anyways. I'm already logging in for those 30 days it's going to take, or however long it'll take. It's just an arbitrary number, but I like that direction. It seems like it's a fair compromise for everybody as well in terms of balancing that out. We also, you know, obviously have a game that, you know, you guys really are committed to making sure runs as best as possible for everyone as possible. There's been kind of some talk on still focusing on bug fixes and technical issues. Is there anything major that you guys are focusing on now in that area?
Yeah. We've definitely done a lot of work over the last few weeks in identifying things like the black screen fix, which we put in a partial fix for, but we're still working on identifying all of those issues. Things like people freezing in games and lagging out, sliding off the map. You know, a lot of those things we fixed in hot fixes over the last few weeks, but with our next update, hopefully we're going to be able to squash a lot of those really critical bugs that people are having and really improve the gameplay quality for everyone.
I think it's interesting when you look at like the player perspective on game development, because a lot of times you see the same comments, right? It's like, man, everybody always has these same problems with the new game. Like, everyone's had these. How are you having these? You should have been able to plan for this. Like, you know these are going to be things. But it's not really how game development works. The reason everybody has these problems and continues to have these problems is because a lot of the issues that you discover with your software are not discoverable, even if you run a lot of simulations, until you get to a mass audience. And then once you put it in the hands of lots of people, you don't want to then say, okay, we're going to take it away and work on this for 3 months and then we'll give it back to you. You want to improve it over time while keeping it in players' hands, right? Because not everything is technical improvements. There's design improvements. There's champion feel. There's adding modes, maps, whatever. So we want to have that collaboration. This is all brand new technology. We've never used this before. We're not recycling old hi-rez technology. It's all new. So there's going to be a lot of kinks. We're aware of the pain points, and we are very sorry, especially to players. Some players are having better experiences than others, depending on your device, and region, and connection. But we are doing everything we can to fix it. It's a top priority for us, but it will take time. And in the next update, all the problems will not be solved. There will still be problems. It'll probably be true for quite a few updates where there's still, and when I say problem, I mean bigger problems than you would like. The small stuff is always there, right?
It's always, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but we're working really hard on it, and we appreciate the people who are sticking with us and being patient, and you know, we hope that your patience will continue to extend until we're able to get to the problems that are bothering you.
Passionate community, man. They'll be with you. I'll be with you as well. Deathmatch, new modes. That's kind of a conversation point. What are you guys feeling about that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about wanting new maps, new modes. So we had Deathmatch a long time ago. That was one of our, first game modes back in alpha that we had, and we thought, let's give the player base something to try out. We turned it on to see how it would go. We hadn't tried it out with a large audience since our new shooting changes. So it was really interesting to see people jump in there and start to just play these really quick matches. Like I'm talking 3-4 minutes, maybe even less, depending on how vicious the teams were.
So earn those portraits.
Yeah, earn the portraits. Get the progress towards the portraits. Get progress towards your daily goals. It was really cool. It's really different from the Siege and Summons modes that were already in there, so it gives us a lot of good feedback and data on future game modes that we can make.
So positive overall in your guys' end.
I think our general sense, and we're still figuring this out, but I think our general sense is we love Siege. We think it's great. We like Summons also. And then we have this third spot where what we want to do is try different modes and learn about what can be the next Siege and Summons mode, right? Something that's really good that people enjoy. And maybe there isn't a next Siege and Summons mode. Maybe we're always rotating and trying new things, which can be fun also. But we want to try a bunch of stuff. Deathmatch was easy because, as Logan said, it was already done. So it was easy to put into the game and let people play that again. But we have other things we're testing, right? So the team that's responsible for fixing a lot of the technical issues and client issues is different from the team that's working on new features.
You don't say. I mean, the guys who make the skins don't make the code? What's going on here?
It's important to note that, I think, so people don't think that we're like messing around and not paying attention to the problems that they're facing. We do both, but they're different teams. So for the team that's working on the new features, we got all kinds of game mode ideas that we're testing. And many of them probably will never reach the public. But some of them will, and right now it's Deathmatch, and we have another one that we hope we can get in sometime in the next month or so, but it's probably a little too soon to talk about it in case it doesn't work.
That's fine. Keep a little bit left for us to discover, maybe try and, data mine and all that kind of stuff. Guys love doing that, so we'll let you try and figure that out until they announce it. Events as well. We had the Logan secret mustache bundle. I don't know.
That was my favorite thing ever that's ever happened.
How did that go?
Did you see someone say, "Who's Logan?"
Yeah, we posted an Instagram post, and then the first comment was, "Who's Logan?" And I'm like, yeah, we probably should have changed that name. I'm like Tom from MySpace.
I love it.
But the events that we're talking about here, so that was a really cool bundle that we did, a really high value deal, and we're definitely looking to do more direct purchases like that in the future because we think it brings great value to the player. But the events that we want to talk about here are actually some pretty cool things that we brought in with the last patch. Things like Wreck the Realm, things like another event that we have coming up this weekend called Hyper Loot Weekend, the Shaolin release event. This is new tech that we brought around with this patch that allows us to run these short-term kind of bonus events that will give players limited time rewards and goals to work towards that will be maybe a week or two long. I think, and they all have specific goals. I think it's really good to be able to release a new champion like Shaolin and then run a Shaolin bonus event and then get him caught up with his rune cores, because you play with Shaolin a bunch, you get all these bonus rune cores for him, and suddenly Shaolin's got, he's caught up with your current character pool in terms of runes. So it allows us to do a lot of creative and cool things to help engage with the community player base. And if anybody has any cool ideas for events, just shoot them at us, because we're always listening and we can always do cool things like that.
Cool. We got a couple questions, and I'm going to kind of hand select here. And if you guys have a special one you want me to go to, make sure. So we want to keep this nice and tight. Of course, the first one I think everyone's always excited about. Let's kick it off. Any new champions coming soon, and what class will they be?
We have a support and a damage coming.
Oh.
That's the most I'll say. I don't know if Logan wants to spoil farther.
I don't know. You might punch me. Can I say anything?
A male and a female?
A male and a female.
Okay. Representing. I like that as well. How often, again, I think we actually already talked that, so I'm not going to go to that. Fog. Somebody asked about Fog. Are you adding Fog to the game? Like MOBAs, would you expect to have something like that?
Fog of War.
That's a great question. That's actually
How would that play?
Yeah.
Be so strange. Might be so good.
Might be good.
Might already be in a developer build that we were testing for fun.
Interesting.
I don't know if we'll add fog. We have experimented with it. We definitely have a playable version that has fog in it. Fog is complex because it has additional performance requirements, and especially on Android, there's already thousands of devices, and we're still trying to figure out how to solve problems that are device specific now. So my concern with something like fog, which I do think is cool, is the QA ramifications of it. I think we need to catch up a little bit on our quality control before we do something like that. But we do have a version that we've tested with it, and I will say it's quite fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I think catching up with the quality control will give us time to correctly design that fog and tweak it and make it really good if we ever do decide to put it in. So find the best implementation possible.
Super cool. Well, this is a question actually I saw in here that stood out to me because I want to know too about that login award. Will you remove it for a player who's already completed it? It is driving me crazy, LOL. I actually have some sentiments. I'm saying, what do I do now? I've done my 14 days login. What's next? What's next for me?
Yeah, this is one that I picked out. I picked this question because that drives me insane. I'm a notification freak. I have to clear all my notifications.
Gotta do it.
And that one just stays there. It's a bug that we're aware of. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. The intention is for that tab to go away after you complete the login reward, and then the notification won't show up, and you'll be good. But right now, it's just not clearing correctly. In the next update, it'll be fixed. So
we just missed April Fools. I would have loved to have like a chasing notification. Like each time you clear it, a new one pops up.
A new one pops up. That's cruel, man. That is a cruel April Fools right there. You never know what that's going to do to the code. That could throw the whole game off, man. All right, so we have another question, and we'll kind of come closing to this as well. Are you guys a team at hi-rez or part of hi-rez or a separate team, or how does your team work as far as development and the total company?
Team? I mean, no. Logan comes in and works. I hang out.
He sets his secret stash up
on a couch that's yellow. This is an interesting question. Of course we're a team. There are two teams involved in Paladins Strike, but collectively we are one team. So it's like get into this weird like
teamception.
Yeah, teamception. So we're one team, but there's two different companies involved. That's probably the better way to describe it. So one team around Paladins Strike, and our goal is making Paladins Strike the best game possible
at hi-rez,
meeting everybody's expectations. No, just in general.
Just in general.
Forget about the hi-rez piece for a second. Just one team around Paladins Strike. And then there are two companies that are in this team. There's hi-rez Studios, which is the publisher, and that's where Logan and I come from, and yourself as well.
That's right.
And our responsibility is, as the publisher, is to put the game in your hands and to tell people about the game and to run the game services, which means keeping servers online, troubleshooting issues, running events, consulting on the game, giving reviews, helping with design, etc. And then there is a company called Goblin Network, and they are the developer. The developer is responsible for making the game. So they're the ones who have a design team, an art team, a team of engineers working on the game client, a team of engineers working on the game networking, quality assurance, right? All of those components that come into making a game, environment artists, etc. That's all together, and that's Goblin. So we have one artist, it's Brew, but he makes marketing art primarily, and occasionally some really cool avatars, right? And he consults on things, but he's not on the art development, right? All the art you're seeing, the great characters that are beautiful and animated and all that, that's all done by Goblin, not by hi-rez.
All the hard stuff is in Shenzhen. And then there's us.
Getting players is hard.
They're both hard.
It is hard. I will say, though, that it's important. We are one team. We work together, right? It's not like we're on top of some mountain and being like, yeah, you guys, Goblin, you do this, that, and the other. It's not like that, right? We work together.
It's a partnership.
We discuss ideas. We discuss game development. One side doesn't dictate to the other. Everything is discussed. And then implementation is just separated. So we are one team, but we are two separate companies.
Cool.
hi-rez is the publisher. Goblin is the developer.
Actually, really clear. I think that's a really cool distinction for anyone asking, and also if you're listening and wanting to know a little bit more about development and games, this is a great podcast and check-in just to learn tidbits here and there as you listen to each episode, because you'll find out a little bit more how the studio type of environment actually works and how the people run it and what the jobs are if you're ever interested in getting in an industry like this as well. Guys, that's it for this episode. We've got an update coming very soon as well, so we'll have one of these very soon. But thanks so much, Logan and Brian, for sharing your thoughts, sharing the updates on Paladins Strike. I'm Raynday, and as always, thanks for listening, guys. Remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.